welcome to another Tech Innovador podcast series presented to you by the IEEE TechWest Sri Lanka. I am Kasun Hera, and today with me I have Mr. Isuru Hera. Mr. Isuru is Graduate Research Assistant at Manitoba University, Canada, and also Visiting Industry Mentor at Sabaragama University, Sri Lanka. Hello Mr. Isuru, welcome to Tech Innovador podcast. It's an honor to have you with us today.
Hi, Kasun. Thank you very much for getting on board on this wonderful podcast. So I'm very excited to share my experience with you all.
Thank you, Mr. Isuru. Today we are discussing how to use your undergraduate project experience for the graduate studies. Whether you are currently undergraduate or recent graduate, we will provide insight for a successful academic and professional journey. So, Mr. Isuru, before we go into questions, can you briefly introduce yourself and share your background in academia and research?
So, I did my undergraduate at the Faculty of Engineering, University of Chavandungura as the first batch of undergraduate, and where I obtained the Bachelor of Honors Engineering, specialized in the computer engineering with a minor in data management. And during my undergrad, my research interests are kind of focused on AI and IoT. While doing research on this domain, I kind of get my focus onto the biomedical engineering, where I can apply knowledge of AI and IoT in that domain. So that's how I get my interest in the biomedical engineering. So once I did my researches and with support of my supervisors, my final year research and most of my undergraduate research are based on the biomedical AI application in the biomedical engineering. And after that, I started to pursue my studies in the biomedical engineering at University of Manitoba, Canada. And just after my undergraduate, I briefly worked as a research and development engineer at the Synopsys. And then after I start my studies.
Thank you, Mr. Isuru. So, let's move on to the first question of the podcast. In your opinion, what makes an undergraduate project experience valuable for a student?
From my experience, I would say there are two types of undergraduate projects. So one is mini project in the course module, and other one is the major thesis projects like final year thesis or minor thesis or design project. So if you would look at the mini projects of the course module, where students have to apply theories they have learned on that module into a practical implementation. So with that, they know how to practically use those theories they have learned from that module. Even though those projects have mini scope, their scope is very limited, but it gives more practical insight for students to apply the theories they have learned. So those are the mini projects. And so I have seen many students doesn't care about those mini projects, but I would say they are the most important building blocks for their major projects, because the experience they got from the mini project will be very valuable when they are doing their major projects. So therefore, I ask the student to focus on their mini project in their undergraduate years, because once you are going to do the project, major your final year research, so you will see the the importance of your mini project. And as I said, the other project major project your final year thesis, where students have to utilize all their learnings of your undergraduate years and address a significant knowledge gap. For engineering graduate, they have to at least come up with the prototype of the novel concept. So and all of these projects, the major project, they have very high credits. So it also very determined point of their GPA as well. So in terms of the theoretical knowledge and as well as practical knowledge, projects are important. And the experience they gain from this project will be very important when they are applying for a job or higher studies. So when you are in case of job, if you are going for the industry, so the industry people differently look at your projects, how you apply your theories into those projects, and they will see how you tackle the problem you encounter in project, and they will see how your problem solving skills and how you apply the practices, best practices in your projects. So these will be your evaluation point when you are applying for an industry. So same time, so if you are going for higher studies, so these projects will be your base indicator for your higher studies. So that's what supervisors mainly use to evaluate you. And one another thing, if you do a good project, so definitely you have it's better to publish it as a research, and if it has a very good novelty, yeah, you can publish get the patent for that. So those will give very good credential for your higher studies as well as your journey in the industry. Those are my brief opinion about the valuability of undergraduate project for students for their undergraduate graduate studies as well as their industry journey.
Right. So my next question will be, what advice do you have for the students on aligning their undergraduate project with their intended field of study in graduate school?
So I would say you should follow your passion. And so I think if you have done good researches or you have some kind of interest area while you are doing your undergraduates, so that will be a field where you should do your higher studies, and because you already have the experience in that area and all the experience knowledge, so you can expand your knowledge into the same area as a graduate research. Like example, like during your undergraduate years, if you do a research in areas like IoT combined with machine learning, so you can find do same research in the graduate school. So that's will be most easiest and most best way to do your graduate studies.
Thank you, Mr. Isuru. So, can we know how to select a research project or topic for student graduate studies?
It's a very subjective question. It's depend on many parameters. So in most of cases, like when you are applying for the graduate school, so you should find a supervisor. Where supervisors research interest should align with yours, and most of their supervisors research interest are aligned with their funding agencies or the research objective of that university or the country of origin. Country they are doing researches. So in case of Northern America, like United States have a specific research goal for research and development goal for that country, and that's how they spend the research funding on that. So when those professors doing their research, they align their research objective with the government. So like these days in the US, research topics like safe AI or renewable energy are given very high priority. So, but you can align your research interests. Like if you are interested in AI, so you can align how your interest in AI is aligned with the safe AI researchers, or how you apply your knowledge in AI for the renewable energy. So there's a chance, but you have to show that your interests are aligned with your supervisor's interest. Then you can call, email, then how your knowledge and your experience and your interest is aligned with their interest. So then they can get the fund for your studies and you can start the researches. So the align your research interest with your funding agency is very must. So, but if you go through the current trend and current policies, so you can find what are the priority research domain which are given priority, and if you read some research papers, then you can see how to align this one. But that need a very good understanding of the basics. So I think it's better to have very good fundamental knowledge on your domain. So then you can apply it for any research, new domain or new application. So that's one factor. And same time, like if you have done your undergraduate studies in one certain domain, like as I mentioned, the AI, so you can extend it to the graduate study where you can align with those policies.
Thank you. Moving on to the next question. How can students balance building on depth of their undergraduate research and exploring new areas in graduate studies?
It's a kind of tricky question. Sometimes undergraduate does not have the good sense that they are going into the perfect direction in terms of the depth of research and the domain specialization. So that's when the supervisors are very important to you. So they can guide you into fine-tune your research focus. So otherwise you may end up in the very depth of theoretical knowledge, and you can develop some new set of art algorithm or method which have less applicability in the practical usage. Or maybe you might end up with the domain. You can end up being a domain expert in the particular application field, but that study does not explore you to good depth of the research theories. So you just barely use the theories, but not the what behind of the things, and you just apply it into the application domain. So therefore, as a student, when doing the research, there should be a perfect blend of the theoretical knowledge as well as its applicability in the domain. So that's why the supervisors are very important to you when in terms of guiding you into the your research direction. So it's kind of, so if we get in a as a domain like two-dimensional domain in terms of the theoretical knowledge and the applicability, so it will be a, for the undergraduate, the perfect path will be a diagonal where you have both theoretical knowledge and the applicability of your research in your study.
Thank you, Mr. Isuru. So, my next question will be, how important is the networking in graduate school, and how can students start building those connections during their undergraduate years?
Okay, yeah, I would say the connection have a lot of effect when you're finding the good scholarship or the good program, or because like you can find the courses, programs, opportunities via Google search. But sometimes like if you know someone at the good program, like who's doing the undergraduate, graduate studies at the university, and if they saw a good match for your expertise, so they can just direct you and like here, there's an opportunity, it like they can say like it's matched perfectly for you, and even they can refer you to the other supervisors. So it saves a lot of time and it gives high probability opportunities for you. So and yeah, so how to build that the connections, yeah, it's depend on like you can have good connection with your alumni, like if you have seniors, so they can definitely guide you because they have gone through that process, so they can guide you to how to find those opportunities. And same time, like you can go to the conferences where you can meet the people from other universities, and not the just peers, like not just undergraduate but graduate students, and as well as the lecturers or researchers from other universities and the countries. So just build up in those connections will be important, like, and those like you can just add them into your LinkedIn profile. They definitely share the opportunities when like opportunities or advertisement about graduate opportunities or the research opportunities. So then you can inquire from them about what kind of qualifications, because sometimes the graduate application process it's kind of very tricky. So if you get some help, yeah, it will be much smooth process. In my personal experience, the connection, I would say the community matters when we are settling down in the new country or new environment for your graduate studies. So because in that environment, yeah, you don't know anything. So if you have good connections, like they can guide you and help you to settle down there. And yeah, definitely if you are in a boat, like you are away from your family and friends, so this connection, like they will be your closest friends during that time. And so those connection, that community which you can build via your connection will help you to have good mental health, because so it's a very different experience when we are in a board. Otherwise, if you are very isolated, like it might hinder down your progress, academic progress. So you have to have a good mental health. So as a human being, yeah, we need like social exposure.
Thank you, Mr. Isuru. So moving on to the next question. Can you discuss the importance of research ethics and integrity, and how students can maintain these principles in undergraduate and graduate research?
So research ethics and integrity is very most important and critical factors during your researchers. So if we take the ethics, like if you are getting human subject-wise studies, so you should go through a specific procedure called ethic approval. So every university has that process. So if you are going to do that kind of research, yeah, definitely your supervisors will guide you to go through those processes and get specific approvals and do the study. And same time, so in those ethics approvals process, so you have to make sure like how you safeguard the data. So I think those factors you will inform when we are going to do the study. But I think I feel like what I haven't seen during my undergraduate years, like I think the students should very much focus on the academic integrity, especially when they are doing their projects, because I have seen many students, they actually don't do their research projects or even the mini projects. So they just outsource it to some outsider and pay some money and get their projects done. So don't do that, because those projects are, as I mentioned before, like these are the very basic building blocks of your research experience. So do the project by yourself and with your fully maximum effort. So like even if you feel like you're not getting good grade, but still do it by yourself. That experience matter, and so that's a very important undergraduate because they are not you are not evaluated for each step. So if you did by yourself, like you had the experience. Otherwise, if you do it by the outsourcing it, so you might get the results, but not the experience. In a graduate studies, like it's much different because you have to show your progress of each step. So it will be very hard to do the outsourcing. So and like if you outsource your projects in undergraduate years, yeah, you might not definitely go to the graduate school, like because at the field learning process that can be detected. So I think so, especially if the graduate student are listening to this podcast, so don't outsource your projects. So do it by yourself, and that experience will be most valuable asset for your future studies and industry.
Right. So our next question: what advice do you have for the undergraduates considering pursuing graduate studies, especially those who have engaged in research projects?
There will be many factors and many points to discuss in this matter. So I think the first one will be you have to maintain a good engagement and connection with your supervisors, because your supervisors will be the main connecting point when you're applying for graduate studies. Those universities and the professors who we are going to apply, they will first reach out with your supervisors and get recommendation on you. So their word will be the key factor on getting your application approved. So and they must know like what you can do, your strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, actually, you should show what your strength to your supervisors. Then they can say to the your future potential supervisors or your potential university professors. So therefore, like have good engagement with your undergraduate supervisors. And another key factor is like when you are doing your undergraduate research projects, yeah, like your final year thesis or minor thesis project. So if you had so do it by targeting to publish it as a research paper. Especially you can publish it in a peer-reviewed journal or conference. Like for the first starters, like I suggest the IEEE conference are good at your undergraduate age, undergraduate years. Or if you had done very good research, so you can publish it as a journal publication too. And if your research has very novelty, definitely you should go to getting a patent. So it might give you a good. It definitely give you a good high academic credibility, as well as you can convert it to the passive income. Also, I would say like your GPS matter for your graduate admission and the scholarships, because the GPA will be a very key factor for the scholarship, because there will be it's a very competitive area. So where if you have good high GPA, yeah, definitely you can get a scholarship. And if you want like how to get a good GPA, like I also mentioned some important factor. So in most of the universities in the Northern America and UK and also in Australia, like they consider your GPA based on your last 2 years, 60 credits of your last 2 years. So in that case, like your first and second year GPA doesn't count. So if you have done good, so if you are still in second year, yeah, you can work better in your third year and your fourth year. So then even if your GPA is lower for all 4 years, but if you have good GPA in your third and fourth year, yeah, you can definitely have a higher probability. And especially if you want to get a higher GPA, you can very much focus on your research project, because they have the higher credit pay, and it will definitely boost your GPA. So therefore, even some people say like GPA doesn't matter, but it matters when considering these things. So therefore, focus on your GPA. And also there's another one factor for higher studies, like in most of universities they have the graduate requirements. So especially they have language requirements. So even you have done your studies in English medium, but still most of universities require you have to done English language test. So therefore, I would suggest like if you have intend to do the graduate studies, just after doing your completing your undergraduate studies, do IELTS or any other English language test to get that requirement done, and you can do it. So for that for this test, you can use online resources and you can study yourself. So it's very easy, as you have done your studies in English. It will be very easy you should only have your focus and determination. Then you can achieve that very easily.
Right. Thank you for your valuable insights on the subject matter. As a closing remark, could you kindly share some advice for students who are new to the university life and for the undergraduates planning to pursue higher studies?
Yeah, I would say so to your studies well, that mean you have to keep grades at certain good level, at least try to get maintain your GPA at about 3.5, and same time when you have the special projects, so do your fully maximum effort to do the projects, so it improve your both theoretical and the practical knowledge, and that experience will be most valuable for in your future, either if you are going to do high studies or industry. So in both scenarios, that will be the most valuable asset in your future. And during your studies, have good engagement with lecturers and your supervisors, because they will be the key point of reference for you in the future. And also, when you are graduating from your undergraduate, so publish your researches in a peer-reviewed journal or conference, so that give very good credibility for your academics. So these are the key insights from me. I hope those insights can guide you for your graduate studies. So I wish you all good luck in your studies. Thank you.
With that answer, we have reached the end of this episode. Thank you, Mr. Isru, for joining us today, and I'm certain our listeners have gained a lot on the topic we have discussed today. Please rate and review our program if you appreciate it. We have several more episodes planned for you, so stay tuned by following us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Radio Public, Breaker, and YouTube. Thank you for listening, and we will see you in the future episode.